Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is going to be another part of our food app series. So in the previous video we implemented the Google sign-in, and in this video we will be implementing the Facebook sign-in, plus we will also make it central so that it can be accessible from all the three portions that we have. For example, we have that implemented in the auth screen, in the sign up screen, and in the sign in screen. So all these screens should be able to access the single implementation so that it's not a repetitive work, right? So, but before jumping into the code, one thing that I would recommend you is to keep checking this backend. I'm basically working on the backend, so it's like a work in progress, and I've been pushing changes to this. So if you want to if you want your login flows to be successfully working, make sure that you have this updated code. And once you basically update it, make a fresh pull every now and then when you are implementing that. Check for the changes if there are any. Most of them will be in the master branch, right? So once you get all those changes and run the code, we'll get started. So over here, for Facebook, what we will be doing is that we need to go to Facebook developer program, right? So this is basically what it is. It's a developer.facebook.com. You need to get over here, and what you need to do is that you need to create an app, right? So to create an app, the first thing that you need to do is go to my apps, right? And once you get over here into this my apps, you will have this create app button. Just click on that create app button so that it takes you over here. And now over here it will require a couple of things. For example, it will ask you for an email address and an app name. So for app name, you can call it like a food app, for example. This is going to be an email. This is basically food hub. Okay, so food hub, and then you pass on the email address that you want, and then over here you need to select why exactly do you need it, right? In our case, we just need to access the authenticate the user, so we will check that authentication, and then you can click next. Right from over here, it will ask you if you have any business profile. If you don't, you can just go with I don't want to, but if you have any, you can link it directly to that, right? And then when you do that, you'll just click on that. It will ask you for your password. Just submit the password, and you'll hopefully it will get you to the dashboard. Once you land on this dashboard, you will see a couple of things. For example, this is a customization of your login button. If you want, we will not be using it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now you are over here, you can just like click on these two, and when you get back, you will this will basically be done. Now the thing is that what you need to do is that you need to go to the app setting and go to the basic one. Okay, and once you go over there, it will show you some sort of app ID and app secret that you need. So that is important, right? What you need to do is that you need to copy these, and based on that, you will be making all those changes and things like stuff like that. Okay, so just copy them inside your code. I'm gonna paste those changes in my backend as well. So I'm just keeping it in the backend. So I'll get over here, and then in the place of this Facebook app ID, I'll be pasting that app ID, and then for app secret, you can use this. Okay, now app ID and app secret is now retrieved from there, right? And other than that, like if you need anything, like for example, for privacy policy, you can add some sort of privacy policy. Then you need to define your data deletion instruction URL as well. This is basically required when you are publishing the app, and you need to have these somewhere placed. Right now I don't have it, so I'm just gonna keep it simple. And this is going to be a shopping app, so I'll just select that. If you want to add some extra information, you can add it, but for now we can just get rid of, like we can do without accessing this now. Okay, so now these things are done. Now we'll go back to the dashboard, and now this time when you go to the dashboard, you will see. Now we'll go to the use case. We'll see what's there, and from there on we need to initiate a guide that basically will help you. So for example, this is what we have. You can click on this customization, and this is basically, this will open this dashboard for you. And now over here you can see that you need to define some action. For example, for public profile, these are the things. For email, you also need something, so you can add that action so that it um, is basically accessing the email as well. These both are required because we basically need the email and the name, so these two things are important. The next thing that we need to do is that we need to go to the quick start guide. That is important, right? So when you go over here to this quick start guide, over here you'll see these buttons. So just start, go with the flow, try to add whatever it is required. You don't need to download this SDK. You'll just get over here, and from over here what you can do is that you can just copy this. This is basically the dependency that you will need. The guide over here is slightly outdated, so we will be skipping whatever is not required, but if something is required, we'll add that. Okay, so we'll get over here into this Android section, go to the module, and over here I'll add this SDK that I have. So this is basically a Facebook login SDK, and once you do that, you can just sync the project. Okay, and now the next thing is that it will ask you to tell us something about your project. So over here what you need to do is that you need to define the package of your app and also the activity. So the package is, again, you are gonna take that from your build.gradle file over here, and the main activity is somewhat over here. So basically that is the package on top of it, and after that you add this main activity. So if you have this some with name, some other name, you can use that over there. Okay, so once you do that, you can just save that. I hope it works because I have already linked it to another project as well. Okay, now that is done, then click on the continue. Now when you click on that continue, uh, this is basically where you need to create a SHA. Previously we were using a SHA that was basically a generic SHA, but right now we need to encrypt it. So for if you are on Mac, you can just copy this. If you are on Windows, make sure that you replace it with the username of your window, whatever it is, right? And then uh, if you need to install this OpenSSL library as well. So these are the two things that are important. And since I'm on Mac, so I'll just copy that, right? And over here I'll go to the Android Studio, go to the terminal, and inside that terminal I'm gonna run this command. So when I run this command, it's gonna ask me for password, and for the dev basically the password is Android. And then what you can do is that you can just copy the key that has been created and copy it, get over here and paste it over here. Now the problem with this is that right now this dashboard is not properly working. If you are like, I'm not sure if it's just a Chrome, but it's not properly working. So for that, what you can do is that you can go to the inspect element and look for the side container, this one, I think this is the one. And then over here what you can do is that you can add the width to 0. So when you add this 0, this is how it will get you over here. So basically how I identified that is that basically what you need to do is that you need to uh, hover your controller on somewhere and look for this blue section over here. So when you find some division that has this blue section, click on that, and then on the right section you will see this element dot style. So what you can do is that, come on, so now this should be 0. So once you set it to 0, you will see this button, click on the save, and once that is saved you can just click continue, and then after that it will ask you for this. You can just click next without doing anything. Now this is important, right? So these are the values that you need. So first you need to copy these three values. This is basically app ID and the client token. These are the two important things. So go to the Android Studio, and from Android Studio go to resources, values, and strings.xml, and then inside this strings XML you can paste these three values like this. Now these are the same app ID and client token that we basically store it in the backend. So I'm gonna copy that. This is basically the app ID, so I'll replace that with the app ID over here. And then for client token I'm gonna go and copy that client token and paste it over here like this. Okay, so these are the two things that are required. Once you do that, you will be good. You can just close the string file and go back to this website. Now over here, the next step is that you need to go to the manifest file and paste these two things. So we'll go to the Android Studio again, go to the manifest file and make sure that you are under the application tag, and then you can just paste this. Okay, now this is pasted, done, and then the next step would be to copy this basically code that has some SDK related content. So you can just copy that and paste it as well inside this uh, and application tag. Make sure to paste everything inside the application tag. So once you do that, you should be good. Make sure you have an internet permission. We have already placed it, and if you don't want to use this advertising ID, since the SDK is using it, you can just add this as well. For us, it doesn't matter because we are not like we don't need that for now. We are not publishing the app, but if in case if you are not using the advertise ID, you can add that line. Okay, now after that, these kind of things are like now deprecated. Like if you try to access add these methods, it will fail. But one thing that is important, that is the registration of this callback. So basically these are important, and you need to add these, right? And for that, what I'm gonna do is that we will be using this functionality. I'm just gonna copy that, and I'll go over here and go to the sign in view model. Okay, now inside the sign view model, what we can do is that somewhat over here, first function that you need to do is that you can call it on Facebook clicked. Okay, that's important. And then you can call it initiate Facebook login. Okay, and then I'll paste whatever I copied from there, since that was in the um, that was in Java. It has been converted to Kotlin, but it's not yet properly working. So for that, what we are gonna do is that we are gonna call it callback manager. Callback manager is equals to callback manager, or you can call it late init, so that late init war a callback manager is going to be a Facebook callback manager. Okay, that's important. And now when the user click on that, you can what you can do is that you can call it something like this. Sorry, callback manager dot factory dot create. Okay, so once you do that, you will be getting something like this, right? And that's pretty much what it is. What you need to do is that you can just get rid of this, and then uh, once you get that, that is how it should look. Okay, so now this callback stuff is done. You have the registration and all these things are done. The next thing that you need to do is that you need to initiate the login. So for that, what we are gonna do is that you'll see get login, and then login with read permission. So basically this is important. You need to make sure that you are passing a read permission to this, and then inside that, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to pass uh, a read permission. The next one is going to be the list of permissions that you want. Since we want the email and public profile that we have set, now you can see that we don't have this activity. So for that, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna call it context. That is going to be a component activity. You can set it as component activity, or you can set it as a normal main activity that we have. So it's up to you, but I'll just use it as a context. Okay, now once you do that, these two things will be done. But other than that, it should also do require a couple of more things. For example, you can also define the call manager into this over here, I think. So make sure to pass this call manager as well, because the reason we would like that is so that we can get a call back in these sections. So like if cancels, if there's any error, or if there's a successful flow, or in all these cases we get some sort of response back, right? Okay. So now, once the initiation is done, what we are going to do is that we are gonna say that UI state underscore UI state dot value is equals to loading, right? This is the loading state, and then if it fails, it means that now we need to define the UI state dot value is equals to error. Okay, that's for error. For cancel, you can also set some sort of error because it's cancelled. And for success, what we need to do is that we need to make that web call, because like we did for Google. So we are gonna do the same thing. This specific section, you remember we have this thing that basically do the stuff. So I'll just copy that and paste it over here. Now this basically is going to be login request. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to say login request dot access token dot token. That is important because this is going to be the token that we require. And then since this is all a non coroutine part, so I'm just gonna do is that I'm gonna place that inside that auth, and this is going to be Facebook. Since this time it's Facebook, we'll be getting Facebook, and then I think the rest is pretty much the way it should be. We have pretty much everything set up, and then initiate Facebook login. This is going to be private. We can just call it from here when user click, and this is going to be context component activity, and we'll pass this context as well. Okay, so once you do that, that's pretty much what we will be implementing. What will happen is that first it will register this callback, second it will get the instance and set it inside that implementation, and based on that, if there is any sort of updates, it will be calling the relevant function. So that's pretty much what we will be doing. And now we'll call this method from the screen. So now inside the sign in screen, if you go down there, you have this Facebook click which is not doing anything. So what we are going to do is that we'll call it, sorry, view model dot on Facebook click, and over here we are going to pass the context as either a main activity or component activity. It's totally up to you, since we know that this fragment, this basically composable is drawn on the main activity, so I'm going to directly say it main activity, or if you want you can convert it to component activity as well. So once you do that, that's pretty much, I think. Okay, so now let's just run the code, and this time I'm going to run it on my device because you need to have Facebook installed on your phone. So I have this thing over here on my screen. Now let's see what happens. I hope it runs as expected. Okay, you can see that I've got this, and now over here what we will do is that we'll go to the sign in screen, and then I'll click on Google. You can see that it opened. It's showing me some loading, and let's see what it does. Okay, now you can see that it's saying that it is going to access your name and stuff. You can just click on continue since it's not yet reviewed properly. And now you will see that it get back, and it will make that web call to the backend, and hopefully it will work. I think it won't work. The reason it won't work, it will fail as well. Let me show you. Is that since I'm using my personal device, and the URL that it's trying to access is again the one for the emulator. So now you need to make sure that you are using a correct URL for that, because this is not the one. So what I'm gonna do is that first thing is that I need to restart it because I added these two keys to this. Second thing that we need to do is that we need to set up this properly. So now this is 10.0.2.2, but in my case, since I am on Mac, what you can do is you can go to your TCP IP, and you can go to your like configuration, go to network, and then you can copy your IP from here. If you are on Windows, what you can do is that you can command like window plus R and then type in CMD, and inside that you will type ipconfig without space, all small, and press enter, and then from there you will get your IP. Now I've got that IP, so I'll go to the network module, and now I'll replace that IP. Make sure to replace it with the correct IP. If you are using your personal phone, if you are on emulator, you'll be using the same URL. But now since it's my device, so I'm just going to change that. And once we do that, now it will again be accessible. You can see that I've got this, and now this time, since I've already logged in with Facebook, this time it won't ask me for permission, but it will show something like this. And now hopefully it will take me to the next screen, which means that now the successfully this basically signed me in. So this was how we can implement Facebook login. Now the thing is that, okay, we have like signed in, that's good, but we have some other section, like we have a auth screen that basically needs this. We have a um, Google screen, basic email, sorry, we have this auth screen where we have this Google and Facebook, and when I click on that, nothing happens. Then we have this sign up screen where basically we have these, and then it will also not work over here. So it's basically, we'll have to either copy paste everything and place it in all these things, or what we can do is that we can set up a view in a set up all these things in some way, so that it's accessible from all these places, and it's a central point. So for that, what I'll do is that we will need the help of polymorphism and inheritance. Okay, so I'll get over here into this auth section. You can see that we have these three screens. So over here, what we will do is that we'll create a new class, and now let's call this class base auth view model. Okay, and this is going to be a class. That's fine. And make sure to make this class an abstract function. Okay, so this is an abstract function, and this is going to be a view model. So that's how it should be. Now we got this, and now this is basically, this needs all these generic functionality, all these generic implementation to be placed over here. So I'll go over here into the sign in view model. I'll first implement all these things with the from here. So you can see that I have this functionality that is gonna definitely will make some changes, but let's take this functionality. I'll just take that whole function from there. I'll get that, and now I'll go to the base auth function and place it over here. So in some cases it will definitely work, but some things needs to be loaded properly. So get over here back, get rid of this Google Auth provider as well. Take that from here as well and paste it over here inside this. Right? Now we'll go back to sign in new model, go and look for the Google handling. And now you can see that this is the Google handling that we have. So I'm gonna take that functionality over here and get over here and create another private function, or you can call it another function and call it initiate Google login. Right? Okay, and then paste it over here. It also need a context, so we'll just use the same context that we have over here like this. Okay, so now you see there are like so many things. We have these errors, these navigation events that needs to be managed properly and things like that. And we also need this food API access to this functionality as well, which we can basically do it either this way. So I think that should be fine. And same is going to be for this one as well. Okay, so now these are the things that are done, and since these states are just loading state, success state, and these kind of things, for that what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna call some abstract functions. The first one is loading, and this is going to be a abstract function, right? Then we are gonna say abstraction function on social, or let's say on Google error, and we can pass a message. So that is going to be a string message, and then the next one is going to be function on Facebook error, and this is also going to take something like this. Okay, so now we have this thing, and then the last thing is going to be abstract function on social login success, and this is going to take a token, and that is going to be something like this. So these are the abstract functionality that I'll paste over here. And now what we need to do is that we'll change these values with the function. So let's say this is going to be loading, this is success. So for that, what I'm gonna do is that I'll just get rid of all these things, and we'll make it on social login success, and we'll pass the token from here, right? Then over here, since it's a Google, so we'll say on Google error, and we'll pass this failed message, and this is going to be the same for this one as well. And again, for this case, you can also see that this is going to be loading again. This is success with the token, so we'll just pass the on social login success, and we'll pass this token. This is going to be res dot token, and this is going to be on Facebook error, and pass that message as failed no token, let's say something like this. Okay, and then for this is going to be cancelled, cancelled, and this is going to be on Facebook error, failed with some sort of exception. You can also take the exception dot message from here. So something like this. Okay, failed exception dot message, right? Now all these things like the Google related stuff and all these different stuff is now placed over here. And what we can do is that we can go to the base auth view model and go to the sign in view model. Now since this is, and then over here this view model that we have, what you can do is that you can change it to something like this. So once you do that, it will ask that, okay, now you need to do is that you need to implement, there are some functionalities that you need to implement, that is the loading, the Google error, the Facebook error, and the social login. So these are the things that are required. And as you know, in case of success, what we are going to do is that we are going to say view model scope dot launch, and this time this is going to be something like this, which is pretty much what we needed. In this case, we will be doing view model scope dot launch, and we're gonna set this to be to the error. Same is going to be for the Google, and for loading we are gonna say that this is going to be loading, right? And then now it will complain that okay, this is private. So what you can do is that make it protected, and you can make this one protected as well, right? And now this function should also be called from over here. When Google sign in is clicked, what you can do is that you can say something like this. Okay, and we also need to pass the food API, so make sure to pass that as well. Okay, I think now everything is inside the, I can just get rid of all these things. Okay, so now this base auth view model has everything, and there is one more thing that I would like to do, but first I want you to like run this code and see if it's working, and then if it's working, then we'll take the next step. Okay, so now you can see that this base auth view model is there. Now the next thing that we do is that we go copy this, go to the sign up view model over here. Now from over here we'll pass this, like do the same thing for this, not this, that is going to be base auth view model. Okay, and then it's going to ask me for the same uh, things like it would ask you to implement the functionality. So what I'll do is that I'll copy these values, and inside the sign up view model, I'm gonna paste those values like this. This is going to be sign up event, so make sure to replace those values with the sign up, and from here as well. Now the sign in and sign up screen should be able to implement to handle all those cases of the login and things like that. There is just two things that we need to do. That is going to be on function on Google clicked, right, and another function is going to be on Facebook click. Now the thing is that if you add these functionalities to this over here, it will work, but we don't want that. I want to make it more generic and keep the uh, composable separate as well. So now you can see that you have these two things over here. The next thing that I'll gonna do is that I'll say on Facebook clicked. Okay, and then once you click, say that on Facebook is clicked, what I'll do is that I'll let's just do one more thing. So over here, what I am gonna what I'm gonna do is that I'll say food API to be passed from there, and we don't need this. Okay, we'll just get rid of this since this is going to be coming from top. And now over here, what I'll do is that I'll say function on Facebook clicked, and that's gonna get me a component activity which is required. And this time I'm gonna say that initiate, and then the same thing is going to be for the on Google, and that is going to be initiate Google clicked. Now why I have kept it over here like this is because I want to separate out the Google and Facebook composable, like the group social composable that I have, right? And now what I'm gonna do is that I'll copy this. What we can do, we can make them private as well, so that it's not accessible outside. And I'll go basically go to the sign in screen, and in the bottom you see this is the basically group social section, and now you see that it is getting this. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna get rid of this. In fact, I'm gonna say base auth view model. This is the view model that it will require. And over here, what it will do is that it will be something like this, and we will say on Google clicked, sorry, on Facebook clicked, on Facebook clicked, and then we will say on Google clicked. Now it requires a context. So what I'll do is that I'll create a simple context over here, nothing specific. So we'll say context gonna be context, sorry, wall context is equals to local context dot current as component activity. And now I'll just copy this, copy paste, paste over here, and hopefully this should work. Oh sorry, we need to make this a clickable event, right? So make sure to on click should be like this. Okay, so that's one thing. We're gonna do the same thing for Google as well. Now you see that I have this thing, and now this group social is not making, like, giving any callback to the stuff. So over here we'll just get rid of this, and in fact we'll just pass this view model. That's it, right? That's for sign in screen. The same thing is going to be for sign up screen. Since we are not using it, we'll just get rid of this and pass a view model to this, so that it works. And now the auth screen will complain because definitely auth screen also have this, but since we don't have any view model for that, what you can do is that you can create a auth screen view model so that it also have this. So for that I'm going to say auth screen view model, right? And now this is basically going to be pretty much same as sign in screen view model. So we'll just, sorry, not this, sign in screen view model. So this case, what we will do is that we'll copy all these things, right? And we'll paste it over here. Okay. And now there's a couple of issues. Okay, so over here, what we will do is that we'll add it this, and then we'll just, and we also need to do something like this. Okay, so once you do that, your auth screen view model first error would go, and then we need to change these events to auth events. So make sure to use them as auth event. Just a couple of things that are important to do, right? And that's done. You'll also change it to auth events so that you have this thing done. You don't need this email password on email change or something like that, or even you don't need this on sign in clicked as well, because these are all there. This is just like this. And now we'll get rid of this because that's how it should be. Or I think you also don't need this sign in click on sign up button. I think these all things are not required. I think it should be something like this. Okay, so now this is done, and we'll go to the this like add this annotation as a hilt view model, right? And then now go over here to this auth screen, and along with the nav controller that you use, we'll just pass this view model as auth screen view model is equals to hilt view model, and now this view model will be passed over here to the social, right? So I think all these things are done. Now we need to just fix a couple of things. For example, we need to pass this food API and make sure that we override that over here, something like this. Hopefully this should work. And also these are not required since we are not passing the food API anymore now this, and then we don't need this Facebook click over here and the Google sign in click. These are going to be called directly from the view models. Okay, this is done. Then we no need to go to the sign up view model, do the same thing that we have, add an override functionality and pass the food API to this. And also we don't need this on login, sorry, on Facebook click. Where is Facebook click? I think we don't have that. So pretty much a lot of things what we did. Let me just rephrase everything in the base activity, in the base auth view model. The first thing that I did was that we basically all the auth related, like the sign and the Facebook and Google related code was taken and placed it over here, and we just like extended the function. So basically it's more like a polymorphism implementation. So this view model can be anything. It can be the sign in view model, it can be the auth view model, or the sign up view model. And now we'll run it and see if what we are trying to do, like if the Google button is now working on the auth screen and the sign up screen as well, and same is for the Google, for the Facebook, sorry. So let's just run this code. Okay, so now over here we have this. Let me click on that button, and when I click on that, it's crashing because uh, I might not have added the keys for that. So you can see that the server client ID is empty, so that's why it's crashing. The thing is that it's none of an issue. Let me just rerun this again. Okay, so now we are there. Now this time we are on the auth screen. Let me click on Facebook and see if it works. So you can see that it worked. Somehow it didn't navigate it because I think I haven't implemented that state handling over here. So that's why it is. Now this time let me try with the sign up screen. Let me click on that sign up screen. Same Facebook thing happened, logging, and then it took me to the next screen. So that's what it is. And now let's just test for the login as well. So we'll just restarted the app, go to the sign in screen, click on the Facebook, and see if it works, and you can see that it's working as well. So like all these things are now at one place, so we don't have to like add different implementation at different places. The only thing that is left over here is that I need to add this navigation for the on success case to the next screen, and that is going to be over here in this auth screen. So you can see that I have not added any sort of checking for that. Let me just close that, get over here. This was the launched effect that we needed. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just copy this from here and paste it in the auth screen somewhat over here. And this is again not sign up view model, that is going to be auth screen view model dot. Oh, okay, sorry, this needs to be auth. Make sure to use proper names so that when you're copy pasting, and every time I miss that, so that's important to use that like this. Navigate to sign up. Okay. I think that should be enough. And now when it's problem. Okay, we need this to be now, sorry, auth navigation event, navigate to home. Okay, now let's just try to run this and see this time. Hopefully it will be able to run the code on the, like this time it should be successfully taking me to the home for this screen from the auth screen as well. Okay, hopefully this time it work. Now we are over here. I'm just click on the Facebook, and as soon as I click on the Facebook, you'll see that it will take me there. Yes. So all these three functionality, all these three screen basically now works. Okay, so now that is done. Now there is just one more thing that would be like, it would be nice if we can do that, because again, that's gonna reduce the code base, and that is this endpoint, because for both the section, we are just making this single request, right? It's like this time it's just this Google that's changing, and then for this it's just the Facebook that's changing. So you can uh, fix that as well by just like making it a single point, but I'll make it as an assignment for you guys. So what you have to do is that you can create a single function, a separate function, and from that separate function you'll call this, rather than having all these things at one place. So that was it for today. I hope you liked the video, and if you didn't, please comment down below on what you didn't like or what you can improve. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like the video, comment down below, and share the video with your friends. For similar content, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you have any queries, you can join my Discord server where we discuss different kind of things. So thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye.